Aloha, Exiles. My name is Mark, and I am the Casual Exile. Hey, today we are about to enter into Act 2, the Vastiri Desert. But before we do, I wanted to give you a couple of very, very helpful tips that I think will help prepare you for going into the desert. These are no nonsense, simple, easy to follow tips for you to boost your strength significantly before you enter into the next challenge. So with that, let's jump right in the game. Okay, we're in game. So the first thing that I want you to consider doing is I want you to consider upgrading your armor. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a simple list of upgrades that I think that you should consider up on the screen. And so right now you should probably be at around level 16, maybe level 14, maybe level 15, somewhere right around there. But I think level 16 is right where you should be. If you're not level 16, you can always go back and take your waypoint and go back into some of the like Ogam Manor or Manor Ramparts until you get to your level 15 and or 16. I think level 16 is the sweet spot that you want to enter into Act 2 on, but you're certainly welcome to go at any time you want. So with that, here's the priority list. This coincides with one of my other videos that I'll put a link to in the description about how to utilize the marketplace. And so I will briefly go through one item that you're going to search for, and then I will point you in that direction to my other video, how to use the marketplace, and then we'll go from there. So what I'll do is we're going to focus on upgrading your boots. And so your boots, as you can see on the screen, right, what we're looking for is we're looking for a movement speed of 15%, and we're looking for a rarity, increased rarity of between 6 and 10%, right? So that'll make you move a little bit faster, and then it'll make things that drop from the monsters be a little more rare, a little more valuable, a little more likely to give you a nice upgrade. So in game, how we get to the marketplace is we hit the slash key. That's going to bring up the marketplace. And the first thing up here we're going to do is we're going to change this to in-person buyout, right? Because right now you're limited to that if you don't have a hideout already. It's one of the poor things about trade before you get to Act 4, but it is what it is. I tell you a little bit more about that in my other video. Your item category, we're going to set that to boots. And then under your equipment filters, we're going to set two things. We're going to set your evasion max to 1, and we're going to set your armor max to 1. And what we're doing there is we are actually filtering out everything with evasion or armor in it, because as a caster, right, you want only energy shield. Now, I will say that if you're playing a melee character, let's say you're playing a warrior, right? Obviously, you don't want to filter out armor. You want to filter out energy shield. So you would just swap that out. Same thing if you were playing a hunter, you would want pure evasion. So you would remove the evasion tag. So you would have armor and energy shield, right? So bottom line, go for your primary stat and set the other two to a maximum of 1, and that essentially filters everything out. For requirements, what you want to do is you want to set your current level as the maximum. And that's under level. So if I am level 17, I'm going to set my maximum to 17. And what I always recommend is to set your minimum to about 5 levels lower, right? That ensures that you don't get something that's too bottom of the barrel. And then the last thing that you're going to set, you're going to come down to your stat filters, and this is where we start adding those two from before. you remember that we wanted movement speed, so we just type the little add stat filter, and we start typing in movement speed, and you'll see that you get this explicit movement speed. We're going to set the minimum of that to 15. And then the other one is rarity of items, increased rarity of items found. And we're going to set that between 6 and 10%. And then we're going to hit the search button, and we'll see we have a whole bunch of items that come up. And then you can filter this by price. Just by clicking on the little price icon here, and it'll sort from low to high. So you can see right now, this individual is selling a pair of wrap sandals with some energy shield with a 15% movement speed and rarity of items, which is great. You don't need quality 20. You don't need Runic Ward on them, right? Unless the price is right, right? If you see something for 1 Exalt, that's really the limit where I would set my bar at this stage of the game, is I would set your limit at 1. If you want, you can actually filter for that. You can go into trade filters, and then under here for buyout price, you can set exalted fee maximum 1 Exalt, right? And so now it'll find only those items that have that are 1 Exalt. I don't know why it didn't find that, because we just found that. Maybe you oh, somebody actually bought that one that was 1 Exalt. So actually, I'm sorry. I'm gonna pause, rewind, right? If you want to filter by price, you can also do that. You just go into the marketplace, right? And you go into trade filters. Under buyout price, set your exalted orb equivalent and set a maximum of 1. And really, that's the top of the line that I would go for. Is you don't want to be spending a lot of money this early in the game. So set your exalted orb equivalents with a maximum of 1. What that'll do is that'll catch anything under an exalted orb, such as this one for a regal orb. And then I would message this individual and then set up your trade. Again, that's described in my other videos. So again, I'm going to leave this up for a little bit. And this is the list of items that I think you should be looking at. This list is also covered in my other video, so you're welcome to check it out there. All right, item number 2 that I think you should do is, after you've secured all of your upgrades, is by now we've gotten enough Verisium ore from all of the Runes of Alder challenges that we've done. And so I strongly recommend that you go to your Verisium Anvil and apply Verisium and upgrade your items. So you want to reforge any non-unique armor to grant you that Runic Ward. And the way that you do that is you simply take your armor and you're going to drag it into this left side. Actually, let me grab a piece of armor so you can see what happens when I do that. Let me grab this pair of boots. So this pair of boots, right, it is non-unique, right? It's magic. I'm going to drag it over here, and it tells me it's going to cost me 75 Verisium to upgrade them. And unfortunately, and it says I'm going to get 36 Runic Ward added to these armors. So all I do is hit the forge button, and boom, now I have rune forged sandals of plunder. So I advise that you do that to all of your armor pieces. So the armor pieces that you can do it on are your helmet. You can do it on your chest. You can do it on your gloves. You can do it on your boots. And if you have a focus, you can also do it on your focus. So I recommend that you do it to all 5 of those items if you can, or 4 if you're playing a witch or if you're using a scepter. Item 3 that I recommend that you do is I recommend that you utilize your Artificer's Orbs on all of your newly acquired items. And your Artificer's Orb, if you remember, that will add an augment socket which will allow you to place a rune in. And so if I don't have an augment socket and I right click on the artificer's orb, and you can see I just added a socket to my scepter. And so that now allows me to place runes into the items. And your runes are typically found on your socketables tab. If you don't have a socketables tab, they might be in your main tab or your dump tab or wherever you chose to put them. So right now we're looking at regular runes for your armor. If you have them for all of your armor as well as your wand or staff, I strongly recommend that you put lesser iron runes, because this gives you the most bang for your buck. It gives you increased armor evasion or energy shield on your armor, and it gives you increased spell damage on your wand. Now, if you don't happen to have any lesser iron runes, you can use any rune that you want. You can use these ones that add attributes like strength or dexterity or intelligence. You can, this is also a great one right here. Your rebirth runes add regen to your armor. Mana regen is always good. Increased mana is always good. Maximum life is amazing, right? Keeps you alive longer. So really, you can't go wrong. I don't think that at this point in the game that you're gonna be needing lightning resistance or your resistances on your armor. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend your storm runes or glacier or desert runes for your armor. However, if you don't have iron runes, I would absolutely recommend them for your staff or your wand, as that gain damage is very good. So I recommend putting runes in everything that you have. For this one, I am going to put, nope, I guess that won't fit in there. Okay. And then finally, what I recommend that you do is I recommend that you upgrade and make sure that you have the maximum level of skill gem that you can in all of your primary skills. So me as a witch, I've been playing with Spark and Orb of Storms and Contagion, and I make sure that my maximum, which is 5, is what I have. If you do not have skill gems in here, just do the maximum of what you can. I think you can go to the, let's see if I can go to uncut skill gem level 5. Let's see if I can do that. Yep, and you can buy them on the trade site, just like you just did for your armor. So same thing, just put in uncut skill gem, the level that you want, and you'll see them pop up, and then you can sort by price. So that's an easy way to do that, to upgrade your skill gems. So with that, those are the things that I recommend that you do right off the bat before we go into Act 2. And with that, I'm going to close out this video, and I hope to see you in the next video. If you like this, click like, click subscribe, all of those things. I always like to hear your comments as well. Thank you, and stay casual, Exiles.